Hi, I'm Mike. I'm here to help you put on a class wrap. A class wrap is a short 5-minute announcement that you make in front of a classroom. We found these to be an effective strategy to help students register to vote. There are really two key things to keep in mind when doing an effective class wrap. The first off is to be engaging. You want to make sure you're asking the students questions and listening to their responses and responding to that. You don't want to give a lecture. They're going to get that later in the classroom from their teacher. The second strategy is to be sure to pass out and distribute the voter registration forms. This is really key to help the students kind of start working through the process and filling out the forms. Students are much more likely, if you're there helping them fill out the forms, to make sure they do it right and they do it then and there rather than give it to you later. We found that if students just collect the forms and pass it in, you're going to get a fraction of the response from that. So now we're going to walk through a quick example of what a class wrap looks like. Hi, my name is Mike. I'm here from Lead to Men. Who here has heard of Lead to Men before? Raise your hand. So if you've never heard of Lead to Men before, Lead to Men is you. We represent the 100,000 community technical college students in the state of Minnesota. We work to fight to make college more affordable, address students' basic needs, and fight for racial equity. Today, I'm here to talk a little bit about the upcoming election. Who here feels they pay too little for their education? Raise your hand. Anyone? Unfortunately, there's some politicians who think students are paying too little for their education, and they want to raise our tuition next fall. We're out here to stop that. And the best way to have your voice heard is to go out and vote in the upcoming election. And so in order to vote, you first have to be registered to vote. And so I'm going to pass out some voter registration forms. In order to register to vote, you just have to know your name, address, date of birth, and be able to sign your name. It's that easy. So I'm going to pass these around, take a moment here to fill them out. So quick question, what are some reasons why people vote? Why is it important to go vote? All right, let's pause right here. So at this point, you want to give students a space to answer that question. Students will come up with a variety of reasons, and this is an opportunity to hear what they're saying, let students talk to other students so that we're elevating their reasons why. That's going to be the most persuasive way to help to get them to go out and vote in November. So students will say something like, it's my civic duty. They might bring up a specific issue. They might say, it's my responsibility. And I think what you want to do is validate those, repeat them, and then try to engage other students on why it's important to go vote. Second question, what are some reasons why people don't vote? What are some excuses they use to not go vote? Let's pause here. So now students are going to share some of the reasons or excuses that people often use to not go vote. This is a really important opportunity to engage and address some of the misinformation that may exist. So students may say something like, my vote doesn't count. So how do you respond to something like that? What I often try to do is allow other students to respond to the other students' concerns and then build off of there. So it could be anything from my vote doesn't count, and then I can share an example or a story of how close elections have been decided by just a handful of votes and how impactful your vote can be. An example here in Minnesota is almost every single year, we have a state legislative race that's decided by 20 or so votes. And so helping students understand that we have close elections can be really important for them to understand how their vote can really matter as part of that. Another reason students may say is all politicians are corrupt. And so again, engaging students to say, how would you respond to that or address it? Here's a good example would be maybe to tie in the ways that students have had an impact in voting. One of those just happened here a few weeks ago when President Biden forgave student debt. That policy change would not have happened if students had voted in record numbers in 2020. And so it's an example to highlight that, to talk about how student voting translated into policy change, whether that's around debt forgiveness or other issues that we've worked on, like mental health reform or basic needs support for students. And then there may be a variety of other reasons. And so just listen to the students and engage them in a conversation about some of those challenges. Great. I just want to thank you for being engaged. If you just want to pass your voter registration forms in, I'll collect it and be on your way. Have a great day.